Man, we're in house with Coach Dupree back at Gaston. And Coach, you guys took on Riley Edwards in section last week. Another one of those games where it's a hard-fought game. You guys are in it down to the wire. Ended up coming up a little bit short on that one, but just take us back to last week, Coach.
Yeah, I was, very proud of our effort on both sides. It was a really good game. Two teams that played hard. Both played with a lot of passion, and we just came up short. But I was most impressed with our guys. We had the will. I mean, they just fought back to get in it, and I was very proud of them for that.
Coach, this week you're taking on a team that you said a lot of good things about this team coming up. Coach Nix has done a really outstanding job. He was 2A Coach of the Year last year, and he turned that thing around, and it was an organic turn. And you watched it from afar. I watched it from afar. But getting to know Coach Nix, and I know you guys have chatted, off the field this week leading up to it. What are some of the things that you've seen from his program on film, and then some of the things that you've seen that, hey, man, because it's a prime example of a turnaround, but an organically grown one,
right?
From his program.
Well, yeah, first off, I love Coach Nix, known him forever. Have a lot of respect for him and what he's doing. And the one thing that I noticed, that really stood out to me is those guys don't beat themselves. They have discipline. They're always putting themselves in position to win. They don't turn the ball over. They have what it takes to be good, and they are, and they're capitalizing on the other team's mistakes. So that's what I've already told our kids. I said, we got to come play a good, clean, disciplined ball game and give ourselves a chance in the fourth quarter. And that's what we did last week, and we done that the last couple of weeks, is gave ourselves a chance, in the fourth quarter. And that's really all you can ask for as a coach, is to be hanging in there, and in the fourth quarter, and who knows which way it'll go.
His quarterback, Braxton Soster, has really come on the last couple of years and established himself as one of the better quarterbacks in this area of the state. Talk about what you've seen from him on film. The guy's about 6'3", 6'4", can spin it, can run it, but he's kind of a field general as well.
Yeah, he looks a lot bigger in person too. He's a big kid. But like you said, he's a leader out there. They're a lot better with him on the field at quarterback. I think last year he got hurt, and they had another kid at quarterback, and they were still good, but they're just better with him at quarterback because of his experience, and he can lead the offense, and he throws a really good ball, and he's just hard to tackle. But he's worked very hard, and to put himself in position to be one of the best quarterbacks in this area. And I'm sure Coach Nix is proud to have him.
What is it you've seen from your guys this year? You and I just talked about off the field or off the camera. You're sitting here 1-5 on the season, but you still got every guy out there at practice competing. They're still bought into the overall goal. And how important is that for that not only to continue but to grow moving forward in building this program?
Yeah, I knew this week was going to tell the story. So I was really excited this week. I've been excited all week. We've had all our guys here at practice this week, and we're sitting here 1-5. But that lets me know that it's changing, and that's what I hope to have done when I took this job, is to make them understand how important practice is, and they do. They've been here, and I haven't so much focused on our record because I want to win more than anybody, but I also want us to get better, and I want us to understand the culture that we're building, and it takes time. And I just appreciate those guys for giving us the effort and the discipline, and what it takes to build a good foundation, and so you can have a good program.
Coach, you learning about yourself as you've gone along here, going from assistant coach up into a head coach. For any young coaches watching this, can you talk about that a little bit? And you're a little over halfway through the season now. And how much you knew it was different, but how much different do you know it is once you're in the saddle and you're like, man, I had no idea blank?
Well, I'll tell you this. This is probably the least amount of football that I've coached since I've been a football coach.
Since you've been a football coach?
Yeah, I mean, you got to handle like pictures and fundraising, and you got to media stuff like this interview. You got to do a whole lot of stuff that and I was assistant coach.
Washing clothes.
Yeah, laundry, ordering uniforms and mouthpieces and Gatorade. I mean, so. To the young coaches, I tell them, it is awesome because, you kind of do get to be in charge of your scheduling and when you practice and how you practice, and you get to hire, your coaches and all that stuff. But I'd say if you're not ready to get out of the coaching and the X and O completely, and that's all you do, don't do it. But but I've enjoyed it, and that's the only thing that's really been a big difference is, you coach less football and you handle other stuff, and but I've enjoyed it, and I kind of knew after talking to a bunch of head coaches, that's kind of what I was getting into.
Did you feel? Do you feel like you put more pressure on you than you thought you would? In other words, when you got a hold here and you're like, man, I had no idea I would be this hard on myself.
Right. Yeah. Man, it's just one of those things. I mean, you talked about it, just kind of how we were raised and, where we were raised at. I mean, I'm not going to fail. Like, we can't fail. And, because that's just not an option. And so we have to do everything that it takes to where when I'm done coaching completely or done coaching here, that everybody can look back and say, we made the right hire, we made the right choice, and that's what you do. And you do it for is the kids first off, and I know they needed a guy that could turn the program around, and and also for me, the pressure on me is not so much as turning the program around, it's just not failing. And that comes with making sure our kids graduate, making sure they act right, making sure the program, is getting better, and, we got discipline. So, it's more than just about the on the field stuff. You put pressure on you, for the off the field stuff as well.
Yeah, that's something, a lot of young coaches, everybody aspires to be a head coach, but once you grab that bull by the horns, man, I've just talked to a lot of guys around the state, and every one of them has the same message you are. They all say, hey, I'm harder on myself than anybody in the administration could ever be. Right. Also, I didn't realize that I had to do all this other. And then my favorite one is football, and let's see if you agree with this, is literally 5th or 6th down the list. Coaching football is 5th or 6th down the list once you become a head coach. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to oversee the entire program, and coaching it is sometimes it may be farther down than 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Because you got to be able to talk to parents and administrators and the opposing coaches and the band director and everybody. You just have to.
Concession.
You got to handle all that stuff and make sure it's right. And then you're like, oh, it's back to football. Got to figure this out, So, but at least, most of us all share the same problem, especially some of the guys at the smaller schools. They, we all had to take care of a whole lot.
Yeah.
And, but that's a good thing. I mean, it's because you kind of know what's going on and you're in the loop.
Yeah, it's a different animal. Well, Coach, before we shut it down, I always like to kick it back to you for final thoughts. This could be anything program related.
Yeah, and it's kind of what I say every week. I mean, I've never been anywhere where, You know, we're sitting there at 1-4, and our bleachers are packed. I mean, we had youth night last week, and this week we got military night. And I know our stadium will be packed. We'll have a full house. We just got support, and I can't thank you guys enough. Our administrators have supported us, and you know, everybody, and that's special because you know everybody doesn't have that. And so I appreciate everything that you guys are doing, the support that you've shown us, and hope to see you tonight. Go Dogs.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you.